It refreshes the mind and all this. Negative ion generators. Okay? Simple little things like that. We ingest new chemicals, use more drugs, eat more sugar, refined foods, and daily abuse ourselves. As he was saying, we stop getting sick when we stop making ourselves sick. Making ourselves sick is a cultural belief system phenomenon. Okay? So we have to have as part of our lifestyle being healthy, not because we're anxious or afraid of getting sick, but being healthy because that's our natural lifestyle. You ask a tree, why is it here on earth? The tree is sitting there. Why is it here on earth? And it looks down at you. It doesn't say anything, it just looks down. And then looks up. We're here to grow. Toward the light, the sun. We're here to grow. Period. So as human beings, my inspiration was always the Taoists and the yogis and these people. They spent their whole life cultivating themselves as human beings. And then we're right in the what you call it, the track where the human being blossoms. Okay. If we take time, 10% of our time, to do exercises, meditation and stuff, we will flourish. We will get health. We have to have time for our body, mind, and emotions. Okay? And we can prevent a lot of disease. Now, this is really what it's all about. Xenobiotics, how many people know that word? So you want to put that word in scientist's face. This is a scientific word. Xeno means foreign. Biotics means foreign to life. Okay? When Cortez landed in Mexico, and full of gonorrhea, syphilis, smallpox, and all this, the whole crew, they landed there. It devastated, killed 2/3 of the population because the bacteria and the viruses were foreign to the natives in Mexico. Okay? Xenobiotics. That means you're giving a human being something that's never been seen before in history. For however, whatever you believe. From 6,000 to 100 million years, however you think, we've been here. Okay? The body has genetically, the genome has never saw that molecule ever. Now the scientists, they say xenobiotics, and it takes 40 years. Someone made that up, one generation, 40 years. It should be longer now, a generation. When it gets back then, people live 40 years. Okay? Or it's the time you reproduce yourself, okay, with children, too. So for 40 years, it takes 40 years to know if any of these drugs are safe. 40 years. So every drug on the market that's experimental, and every drug that's been taken off the market, was all proven by scientific evidence. Okay? Every one of them. And there's a long, long list. And it's all also programmed. How can we get our money back before we take it off the market and all this stuff. And research is a joke. Okay, you have 100 people and they give them a stamping drug like Lipitor or Crestor. Okay, 20-30% of the people are so sick that they cannot continue to research. So they take those people out of the research. That's not scientific. They just deal with the other 80% and they make that a new 100%. This is all the tricks and the statistics, let alone manipulating the numbers. Another fact, if anyone discusses this with you, you say, well, pharmaceutical companies spend more money on advertising than research. So that means what? All pharmaceutical stuff is based on one word, placebo. Getting you to believe that it's going to work. They're the placebo promoters. Toxic placebo promoters. This is strong medicine. Okay? I said, Sean, when you take this and get diarrhea, oh yeah, strong medicine. That's the level of modern pharmacology. We're in the school of pharmacy. So xenobiotic medicine is allopathic medicine. I'm renaming it. Foreign to life medicine. Antibiotics is against life. And it doesn't discriminate. It's against life. I'm not here to upset you. I'm just here to make you aware What's in your bathroom and your kitchen are both toxic places. Okay? And we look at this, all synthetic chemicals, pesticides, and pollutants in the air. Some pollutants are natural, carbon dioxide, all that, but most of them are artificially generated. All vaccines, and don't forget allergy shots are as bad as vaccines. People think it's some kind of mild or bad things. You often have to give Thuja and silica and the vaccine remedy just to antidote allergy shots. Okay? All genetic, all altered bacteria, and I mean there's some scary stuff going on now. And I'm listening to public radio, and the scientists on it, they're so proud that when swine, NH1, H2, whatever that was, swine flu, yeah, when that broke out in China, you ready for this? They have computers now. They have computers that can print a gun, make a gun, right? They have computers that they email the virus to Washington. And Washington had all these chemical bacteria and stuff, and they created the virus in the lab through email. And they're so proud that they can do this now. So anybody can get an email and send viruses all over, and they can download it and create the virus there. Anybody. Okay? And they're proud that this is some great thing. It saves them 1 or 2 days. You know, how long does it take a plane to fly from China to D.C.? It saves them that much time. Okay? So now they can synthesize viruses from emails. Okay? Electromagnetic energy, radiation, our exposure to that. You want to have very little electrical stuff in your bedroom. Okay, your bedroom is your sanctuary. TVs, stereo. You want to have very little light in your bedroom. Okay? We talked about that with breast cancer. Okay? Having night light for your children is very bad. Their eyes can be proven for 100 years. Okay? They have a fear of the dark, and you have to work around it. Give them a remedy, or stay with them. Once they're asleep, you turn the lights off. Your growth hormone, all this affected. People have all this, their TV in bed and sleeping, and even shutting them off. Still the plugs are. All the GMO, which all the governments are starting to support. The EU is starting to crumble on that because it's all about money. Okay. We, you know, the world governments are in, as he said, it's science is the cover, but it's a commercial business. There's no other profession that can attack another profession. Plumbers can't attack carpenters and say only that should be in that category. We accept subjectivity and objectivity with no prejudice. Okay? All preservatives, dyes, all cosmetics and going into lesser organic and purely natural are there. Lead, arsenic, and all of the eye makeup, everywhere. Okay? So that's a key word that you should know about. And then all the pollution stuff. So we see all this stuff, and there's nothing to treat. So we're lost. Okay? This isn't in your handout. Okay? So we, and I'll make these slides available so where you can get it email. And all these things happen in our environment, but if you have no symptoms, where are we with homeopathy? So we're panaceaing. We're looking for cures. How many homeopathic books? Chasing the cure, finding the cure, okay, whatever. Okay? So that's a good thing. Don't get a cure for. Thomas Edison said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Okay. So sleep gets in balance. So that's why we want to use some tonics and homeopathic remedies for general detox. You don't have to be sick. Preventive medicine. And what is detox? I'm not going to get detail on this, but just clearing out toxins. Sleep is your detox mode. We're sleeping to detox, okay? Especially the brain chemicals. There's interesting stuff on BBC website. They have pictures of twins. Go to the website, twins. Identical genetic twins And one smoked for 17 years and one didn't. And they showed just their faces. Genetically, how they took in toxins for 20 years and how it changed their life. It's these homeopathic small doses of these toxins that alter our health. And then some stress triggers it. And then we have some disease with some label pop up. Okay? But anybody here that has a blood test, and you'll find all kinds of stuff. Most cultures that I was mentioning does some type of that. They predict 60 to 80% of all cancers are due to toxins in what we eat. Now that's not perceiving the cause of cancer. I don't know what it is. And to go in and look into the relationship that someone had with their mother and try to find a remedy for the cancer, to me is far too speculative. Okay? Clear out the cancer first and then work on the other stuff. If you don't do that, the person could die from the cancer. So all the cancer patients, we want to detoxify. And all, as he was saying, all the chronic diseases, with all this technology and all these drugs and all this science, we're only getting sicker. We're living longer as being preserved. Okay? Pickles with drugs. We have top pathways, and this is really simple stuff. We eliminate toxins through our breath and liver and all this. And again, the liver is our main organ, so I'll talk about some liver remedies. And one of the main things I'm going to show you how homeopathic remedies can be used in physical doses. Unbelievable. The exact remedy, the exact Latin name, and you take it physically as a powder or a tincture, and put it in your smoothies and your food. Oh, what do you think? Oh, I'm taking a homeopathic remedy. Or yeah, green drink. Okay? It's also physical, emotional, mental, spiritual detoxification. And we're not going to go through all this, but just to show you multiple signs and symptoms. We go in and repertorize the headaches, we repertorize this, instead of perceiving, oh, this person's pretty toxic, you know, the toxic lifestyle, drinking, smoking, and all this, we may have to do some treatment for that too. And other diseases, I mean, it's a broad range of everything. Okay? That's all Hahnemann did. 70% of his practice. You can't get more classical than Hahnemann. Okay? And then toxopathic. Homeopathic study of toxins and their antidote. Very simple. You go buy the drug in Posey or you learn to make it yourself. Every homeopath should know how to make a remedy in scratch and right on their kitchen table. Okay. So I'm in the woods or the jungle somewhere, you know, I can make up the remedy. Why is this kid sick? He's got diarrhea. Why? They ate this stuff. Go get the leaves for me. Go get the berry. Give me that. Give me that. Okay? And I had a student up in the Rocky Mountains. She got poison ivy, whole skin. They were like an hour from any road hiking in the mountains and all that. And her boyfriend went and found the poison ivy. And they diluted it and took it out and gave it to her. And kept on hiking. Okay? So that's the practical stuff. But of course, toxins are this toxic things that damage our health, well-being on all levels. It's not just physical. Okay? These are more sources of it. And toxopathic remedies. Okay? So in Europe, toxopathic was really big because of the classical way of killing your political enemies with poisons. Arsenic and all this stuff. Mercury were there. So the whole science of poison antidotes were there. They used to have special glasses made of alabaster or amethyst. The royal family would drink only stuff out of those glasses because the glass was doing poison. Okay? There's a whole different science of it. So they have three different groups here, and I actually talked about this in the past, maybe 10 years ago. I'm not going to spend much time on it. So we have homeopathic remedies can be used. A similar remedy can be used as antidote. You don't have to use the exact same thing. You can use the exact same substance for there. Or you can also antidote bacteria and viruses with the rosos, which also can be a cause. the Lyme disease, there's a bacteria there, and the first few days where they have the rash, we give them those. That's the first thing we do. We often the rash, please. And then what's left, we take the case. Okay? We want to antidote the initial attack first. Okay? And then there's all kinds of environmental radon, radiation poisoning, bad water. I mean, we have everything in compliance. Tap water, London tap water is in compliance. You know, I don't know how you figure out that that was the cause of some of the problems, but yeah. Okay? And then herbal remedies. So, good approach to that. Just to finish up here, ways you can use orthopedic remedies for side effects of drugs. Very, very simple from that side effect. You convince them just to lower the dose, which is hard. If they lower the dose, the side effects go away. So this dose, and here's how scientific it is. They give mice inject the drug. This is science. This is off the wall. What you got, over the moon, you say? They inject the drug to the mice and they keep 10, 100 milligrams, whatever increments. They keep doing it until they kill 50% of them. Now that's called LD50. It's in every drug research. LD50, lethal dose, 50% of the animals. Then they take the mice and they weigh the mice. They weigh the mice. And they project the weight to the human being. And they determine that's the right dose for a human. And then they start the clinical trial. There's no science in that. Anybody that studies zoology and animal physiology and all that, I mean, you know, goats can eat poison ivy, nothing. I mean, the fact that we're the belief system is that you can do that. That we're similar enough to a little mouse. Where's the stress? Where's the grief? Where's the, you know, bad food? Where's the life? Nothing. Okay? And the weight of something? So a big guy, this is how simplistic it is, how childish it is. The big guy gets a bigger dose. No one ever questioned it or challenged it. Now, what if you have a big guy that's hypersensitive? It don't make sense. Okay? There's no book in modern medicine. I don't think in homeopathy either. There's no book on the number one thing, susceptibility. Okay? Susceptibility is an intimate consciousness. You know, we're treating a person's susceptibility to something, their own energy radar. Okay, food allergies. We're treating that. Okay? They're sensitive to food. But everybody's not. So is it the food or is it the person? Okay? So side effects. Also, if someone had a drug and they've never been well since, now you got a whole layer of the case. That's an obstacle to the cure. You have to go remove that layer. Okay? I had a friend of mine from high school. He cut his finger, this big of a cut. Okay? So he goes in the emergency room and they give him sulfa antibiotics. So he's in the emergency room and he didn't come out. Okay? So they go in and say, what happened? He broke out with blisters all over his body. So they kept him in the hospital. Then they do all these tests, x-rays and all these blood tests. Then they have blisters on his liver. All they have is a little cut. Take a dab of honey. You're done. Okay? Okay? And then, just where I left, he died of cancer, liver cancer, from sulfa antibiotics. So he was in a horrible toxic layer. We got him the tonics and remedies, and 2 or 3 days later. They only called me because all the doctors said he'd be dead in 1 or 2 months. So they didn't call me. So the remedies got there, and 2 days later, so just for a little thing. That's called sensitivity. Allergy, the whole thing of allergy is all about that. That phenomenon applies to all drugs. You can be allergic to anything. Okay? And also you can get people off their drugs using psychopathic remedies and time. Drug withdrawal, street drugs or whatever. Your body doesn't know, oh, this is a legally prescribed drug by a qualified GP. the body doesn't care. The body only knows it's being attacked. Okay? So you get people off heroin, you get people off cocaine, off cigarettes, all kinds of things. For people for addictions and addicts, we do unbelievable work in drug rehab clinics with alopathic alone. We train people and staff in a few hours on how to use it. Okay? And also acute overdoses. You can use alopathic medicine. Was an expert on that. And amazing things, you can also prescribe the allopathic drug in homeopathic form based on its allopathic indications. All allopathic drugs and all their side effects are what? The proving of the drug in a physical dose. So we have massive amounts of literature on that. I'll give you one example, a brain chemical. A brain chemical called dopamine. We're going to talk about it. So the psychiatrist tells a story, a true story, of a lady. She had some Parkinson's symptoms. Okay? So she went to a psychiatrist and they put her on L-dopamine. She was a Christian lady, moral, never smoked, never drank, church, pristine. Okay? She got the L-dopamine. The day she took the L-dopamine, she took it, she went to bed that night, the next day she went up, woke up. She woke up the next day with bright eyes and she went out and she started gambling. Never had an idea in her life. She gambled for 2 years. All her house, the college, kids' college education, her savings, everything. Totally exhausted. That they had to hide the credit card, they had to hide everything. She was obsessed with gambling. Okay? 2 years. And one day the psychiatrist said, well, let's take you off that L-dopamine. The day he took her off L-dopamine, she never gambled again. So now we have dopamine 30C we can put in the rubric for gambling addictions. I mean, that's proven. We should have no prejudice. Half our material is based on how it's proven. And we got all this allopathic stuff. So our homeopathic material is just expanded by another 1,000 remedies. Okay? Yes?
How about the notion that in herbal, in material doses, some of the effects of the remedies are different from
we'll talk about that. Yeah.
I was thinking that, let's say, a remedy that as a constitutional remedy for a particular patient, let's say, if it helps him in a homeopathic dose, how about giving it as well, if it's accepted as if it's a herbal, let's say.
That's what we're going to talk about this whole weekend. That's our subject this whole weekend. Yes. Now, when people say the herbal dose is separate from the homeopathic, no. The whole thing, we're going to talk about Cardus marianus, the liver thing. The whole thing is Cardus marianus. Okay? The toxic side effects of opium, homeopathic prescribes the toxic side effects and the homeopathic side effects. Well, opium causes insomnia and coma, depending on the dose. It's all about the dose. Okay? So herbal dose of a homeopathic remedy will give you nutrition and cell regeneration effects and these other things, and that they can go along with it. Okay? So you'll see we'll be going back to that continually. And somehow people are afraid of physical doses, but these are foods and herbs and non-toxic. Okay? In the 1950s, there was a book called The Grape Cure. South Africa, people have heard of that? They put people eating grapes for 7 days and they're curing cancer. In Russia, they had beetroot therapy. Now the scientists found this chemical in beets called betaine. And it inhibits all these tumors. And the Russians will give beets and beet juice to your stool and urine, everything's red. And they cure cancer. Okay? No prejudice. So if I give a remedy and tell people to eat more beets or this or that, it's just food. But when we do it as a tonic, we probably increase the doses. and we get some of the effects. And if we don't do it, we're ignoring thousands of years of ancient medicine, clinical experience of all these people, let alone the homeopath. And this also can be described as preventative. You know you're going to be poisoned by anesthesia or vaccines or something like that. You can take Talk Fatty Remedy as a preventative. Drug withdrawal, toxic overdoses, preventative, and all this. Okay? And simply to detoxify things. Okay? So that was all I want to say about that. Now we do the name of this talk, of course, is New Old and Forgotten Remedies. So first we want to do Carbo Veg.